Yo, I know it's been a while since I did a video like this, man, or days, let's say that, a while for me in terms of my usual posting schedule. But you all know that it has to be like this, considering the Rippaverse and everything that we're doing with that. We have to get to work, and I've been in this warehouse all day, every day, and that's to be expected. We kind of got all hands on deck. All right, for you guys that don't know, the 26th, we announced it, so it's Monday. We will start our first batch of shipments. It'll take us a day or two to kind of get into full swing to where we're going to be doing on the upward of maybe 4,000 shipments a day. We are going to be fulfilling those items for ISUM number one, the campaign. We'll be fulfilling those items in the order that they, of course, were received. Let's see something real quick. Okay. All right, there we go. So we are at 3.62. We've hit that. 42,000 total purchasers. There are 4 days left in this campaign. And as I've done videos for the Rippaverse, like social media and all that, YouTube, there are certain items that you are not going to be able to get. One, namely, and that is these cards. If you order, well, let's say this. It's not if you order. You have 4 days left to purchase this. Okay, these are the coolest items on it. You go watch our video over at Rippaverse YouTube, and you can see kind of what all that entails. But these are the coolest items. We're bagging those right now, actually. And 11 cards, 5x7. They're massive. They're not standard size trading cards. Lenticular design on the front. I love them. We paid a lot of money to get them done in the way that they are, but they came out just amazing. So you can still grab those. You got 4 days left. They will not be sold after the campaign. You'll only be able to get those like in select purchases. Not purchases, select like, I don't know, giveaways and maybe prizes that we have and stuff like that. That'll be the only time that you'll be able to get those trading cards. Also, as we announced, you will not be able to get these items after, so let's say this. After the campaign's over, 4 days goes, we're good to go. After that, our store will go live, our official store, but you will not be able to, well, let's say this. If you buy something at that store, those items will not be shipped until after the campaign items have been shipped. So basically, order within the next 4 days, and you won't have any, let's say, delay. Yeah, you'll be on the latter half of it, of the shipments, but you won't have to wait maybe even a month out before getting those items if you order right now or by close. Thank you so much for the support. Today actually it doesn't tie into the Rippaverse stuff, but it's something that I want to give my thoughts on just really quick. You guys have heard by now that this woman, with all the layoffs and all that, Kotaku did announce that they are they're letting go of her. Okay. So you saw me post about this on social media. Frost is no longer with G4 TV. For you guys that don't know, she was the one that went on that rant, right after they came back, maybe the next month or something like that. They come back, G4 TV, and she goes on some rant about sexism in gaming and all this other nonsense. And Slay Queen, G4, the company was backing her. That this right here, I think Blair Herter was I don't know what president he was, what VP he was, but he was in an executive position. And he ended up leaving the company, ironically enough, but he's like, hey, don't watch it, all that sort of stuff that you expect to see from these mega corporate sort of entities or mega corporate backed entities when it comes to basically despising the people that have supported them in the past. Now, what this is a lesson on, and this is the part that I really want to focus on. It's a lesson on a shift in how content is made and businesses are run. It is a sorely outdated model. How corporate, be it comic books, be it in how they do what they deem as entertainment, visual entertainment, TV, it's all outdated and it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. And what this is an example of is just being unable to actually gauge your market, period. You can't gauge it. You don't know what you're doing and you're incapable of actually gauging what the market interest is and where it's at. Because for you to come back, you know, you're branding at G4 TV, and you to come back and you hire this woman, who of course said some silly things in regards to games that really got her in, like, people talking about her. And then that's when she went on the sexism in gaming rant. But that was to be expected when you consider even her brief history and like what she kind of focuses on and all that. It was a nightmare waiting to happen. Let's say that, ticking time bomb, if you will. And what I think happened is that, you know, I can't, was Comcast that put all this money behind this G4 TV project? One of those major mega corporations did that. And what they thought is the mistake that a lot of people in the comic book industry thought. And that is that likes, retweets, what some people call hype culture, is a way to actually make money and a way to gain support. These guys being unable to actually gauge their marketplace and understand what the market is, read it. G4 TV was doomed for failure. You heard me talk about this in Tuesday night's main event. It was not going to succeed. It could not succeed. They had this big building or whatever that they're shooting all this stuff out, studio too big, have all of these people that they hired that are executives, right, making way too much money for something that just had no chance of a return investment, because they were trying to do this highly produced, like overproduced way of presenting some of the G4 tech TV type stuff of old, right? But the difference is that the market changed since Dave went away. Like, it's not the early 2000s or whenever, that mid 2000s. It's not that day and age anymore. People are watching folks review games. People are watching folks talk about video games, tech related stuff, and they're doing it out of their bedrooms. They're doing it in their own home studios. They're doing it with not even the cost. And you know for a fact, at least to some degree, that person is actually the one that is giving their view. Even if you don't like the take, they review a game, you might not agree with the rating that they give it, but you know at least they played it to some degree. You've seen them, and some of them streamed them playing it themselves. Whereas to you get something like G4 TV, she flat out submits an next play that they don't even play the games. You know, someone else is playing the game, reviewing it for them, and they're just like reading from a script. Which, okay, maybe that worked back in the gap, but that doesn't really make a lot of sense now when someone can go and get some decent quality content from someone on YouTube covering the video themselves, covering the game themselves, and you've watched them play the entire thing. So why would I need to see this kind of corporate version of that? And as I mentioned earlier, I think this signifies the change in how content not only is produced, but change in how content is, more importantly, consumed. The Rippaverse ties into that because it's an example of someone, or you guys as customers, having a direct line of sight with the creator. Okay. That is something that people value, that the corporate entities simply cannot give you. They are far too big. They have all these middlemen and middle folk. You have no idea. There's a big disconnect between the folks at the top versus the people that are actually consuming the material that it is that they put out. Whereas in this day and age of social media and all this, you know, you have a direct line of sight with me. That's not to say that I'm going to talk to every individual like personally, but it's more personable. And you at least know me. So it feels authentic. It is authentic. It's real. It's not this kind of corporate version of whatever it is that people want. So that is the way of the future. And it's going to be a lot more decentralized, but people are going to get material from people that they, you know, can at least have some form of connection with. And I'm okay with that, right? It separates the real from the fake stuff. And so I'm perfectly fine with that being the thing, even if I wasn't one of the ones that made it on the other side of this maybe newer economy. I'm okay with that, because at least this is more preferable to some old corporate entity that just exists just for the sake to exist, of existing, and you ask people like, why, how is this still even like making money, or why is this still a thing when we can get this? And nobody really knows. It's just that, first in, best dressed type of situation. Well, I think that's the way of the old, and the way of the future is not this model. So they came into a model that has been dominated, like doing the YouTube stuff, dominated by people that are just regular folk. And they tried to replicate what they did of old. And it's like, yeah, it's good produced. Of course, they probably threw all this money in, got all this camera folk, but it's not authentic. So people don't want it. And then you have this person who comes in, says what they say, goes on some social political rant, just completely killing any momentum that you had. And they had a lot of momentum going into it, but they killed any momentum that you had. And yeah, there were retweets, a lot of, retweets, a lot of slay, and you realize that audience that a lot of people are trying to cultivate don't actually support your work. You're not getting the viewership it is that you expected. You're not getting the bot. I don't think they had any kind of membership thing tied into it, but that ties into other stuff where you get, like, for example, these social views that focus on the social folk that focus on social views. And let's say they sell a book or something, and the book doesn't do nearly to the degree of what they're doing in a viral retweet, because those people aren't actually interested. They may be ideologically interested in what it is that you have to offer, but they're not actually interested in your work. And they show that by not supporting it. Man, the amount of times that you've seen, oh yeah, this version of this goofy character, or this goofy character that's in the books, so supportive, so progressive, and I love it. And you see these stan accounts are screenshotting it from a pirated website, or a website that has pirated the information. They're not actually paying customers. They're not interested. G4 TV learned. Frost, who thought she was not on the chopper block, she said, I survived. I think that was what got her fired. Realizes that you can't eat retweets. You cannot eat your retweets. Yo, I appreciate you as always. And if you're into comics or want to get into them, go visit Rippaverse.com, where you can check out my own comic book company, Rippaverse Publishing. Our first book, ISOM #1, is currently up for pre-order right now. You can also check out the company trailer and the ISOM campaign trailer so that you can make an informed purchase. We've cleared over $3.3 million in sales, and many of our supporters are viewers just like yourselves. And because of that, I have to thank you all personally. I do appreciate you. I can't wait for you to learn more about ISOM himself and already fan favorite Yaira. We ship internationally, so no matter what side of the globe you're on, we love to have you as a customer. Much love and big thanks.